his version. But yeah, man, I definitely caught wind of a lot of the content as well. My thing is I we're in an era where whatever you stand on is eventually gonna get exposed anyway, so you might as well
Yes.
tell the truth.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to intro the show. I appreciate you being here, brother. And let's do it.
In the end, who are you? The ghost just landed. In the end, who are you? It's life as you planned it.
Bitch, who are you?
Yo,
Don't worry about what I have, more than you.
yo.
Don't worry about what I got, watch what I do. Don't worry about me,
Welcome,
bitch,
welcome,
bitch.
welcome.
Who are you?
Today we got a doozy. This is going to be super dope. Been following this gentleman for a long time. A lot of you might be familiar. A lot of you might not be familiar, but I would like to believe I am a part of what is called the music producer community. A lot of you know, I make my own beats, write my own shit, and independence is everything to me. And the gentleman who we're going to have on today is someone I have been following for years. And before, I mean, now he's a streamer. He's killing it with streaming. So shouts out to him for that. But even before the streaming, I followed his YouTube channel, and he was one of the first people to encourage me to actually maybe stop selling beats and look at my value a little bit differently. And so I'm super excited to have this gentleman on here. Today, we got the notorious Curtis King.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
It is an
I had
honor
to
to
work
have
for
you
that
here.
title. I had to work to become notorious.
Hey,
You know,
bro.
at first everything was so ultra positive and trying to figure out how I could inspire the community, and then I realized I'm dealing with human beings, and anything that's positive all the time has some issues underlying. So
I
I
love
appreciate that title
I
because
love when you went heel, bro. You were always like that you were it's almost like you were trying to be the OG cool, hey,
right.
everybody can make beats. Everybody I love when you started to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Making beats ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was
Well,
just
yeah. What
awesome.
you when you say certain things like that, you attract a certain energy that wants to be the opposite of that. And I have to figure out, all right, I'm not always right. So what is it that they're seeing from their perspective that I need to understand? And I just put up a quote the other day in that I think people who are positive vibes only, which was what I had kind of believed in that mantra at one time. What they fail to realize is that you can't recognize the good in you unless you understand the bad as well, and you're
Yes.
able to utilize it when in the face of bad. You can't just walk around here. I always use the example: if you're driving down the road or freeway and you're focusing on good vibes only, that might be the sky, but you don't see the accident right up ahead of you. So
Yes. Yep.
that was an important pivot because plus I just got tired, man. I got tired of people. I was being ultra nice and supportive, and they was talking shit to me. I said, "Well, fuck you too."
And bro, honestly, as positive people, I think we need to be that. We have to have
Mhm.
balance. I was the guy that was always trying to inspire and always trying to, you know, almost even like make positive music, and people would look at me as a cornball. But they
Mhm.
didn't know I could
Mhm.
actually
Same.
they didn't know I could actually rap. They didn't know I could actually
Yeah.
like, oh, you want the boom back New York sound. You want this sound. It doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
I can embody it because I'm dope. And
Mhm.
that is, I think the energy always speaks, and yours does. And that's why I thought it was so awesome to see. I'm gonna pull up your. I'm gonna pull this up here.
People ask me what level conspiracy theorist I am. I'm right here. This one.
I saw this on your channel
What's that?
and absolutely loved it. Here we go. I got to get my mouse back. When you were calling out academics, we're gonna watch.
You
some
know
of
that
this.
Amazon has a $50 million fund that they have
I
to
don't
pay
pay
out
for
every
YouTube
month. And
Premium.
here's how you can get a cut of it. My name.
They don't like me. I don't
Trying
like
to
them.
play political on this?
Here we go. I'm gonna play some of this.
Okay.
Why can't you stay organized? I've experienced this myself, and it's called impulse control, where you
DIY.
You got a membership.
DIYers, there's many of stories that I look, and there's many of stories that I feel like are just not on brand with what I try to do here at Curtis King TV. But then every once in a while, there's a story that bothers me so fucking much. Excuse my language. It bothers me so much that it literally won't let me alone, right? It won't leave me alone. And because I'm a father, this story that has been coming up about Akademiks and the inappropriate ways that he was talking to a 15-year-old streamer named Noor has seriously bothered me. And it's not just what he said, because we've already seen examples of, his degenerate behavior. Nothing surprises me about him anymore. It's how comfortable he was and how there's so many people that want to maintain relationships with him that are enabling this stupid ass behavior. As a dad, shit irks me to hell. With that said, though, KB Goes Live did a great video that kind of gives you an idea of why this is such a serious topic. It gives you an idea of why this is so disturbing. And like I said, it involves a young streamer by the name of Noor, who happens to be the top moderator of another large streamer named Blackboy Max, very popular streamer. Anyways, this young gentleman was on a live stream and was doubling down in a Discord where people were reacting to him and asking him questions. DJ Akademiks just so happened to be allegedly he happened to be in attendance. This video by KB Goes Live definitely summarizes the disturbance.
If you guys are just tuning in, we have Curtis King with us. And this is him reacting to DJ Akademiks. Brother, you got 2 of my subscriptions. I have multiple YouTubes, so you now have 2 subscriptions from me.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely, brother. If you're not following Curtis King, definitely give him a follow and tune in.
Nature of it. And I must say, once again, I am just reacting to video that is out there. This is my opinions. This is all allegedly. Gotta say that just to protect this channel. But trigger warning, especially for those of you that have gone through some circumstances of grooming. You may want to proceed with caution. So, name of this video is DJ Akademiks accused of being weird with a 15-year-old streamer. KB Goes Live. You take it from here.
DJ Akademiks. This is shameful behavior right here, my boy. Yeah, you should definitely be ashamed of the topic that we talking about today, Akademiks. You done really up and done it this time. So Akademiks is making headlines right now for an absolutely egregious reason, right? I seen on Twitter a little while ago that this video of DJ Akademiks on Discord talking to a 15-year-old named Norg, and the conversation is nothing short of baffling. Now,
all right, so we have Curtis King here live with us, so I don't really feel like we can get your live reaction. Long story short, disgusting behavior from Akademiks talking to a 15-year-old about terrible things, okay? How does someone like him, I want to start here. How does someone like him get in power to be able to influence culture? I feel like he is the reason for not only mumble rap today, for a rap he's taken away almost the quality of music. When you look at some of the drill artists, nobody really cares about mixing anymore. Nobody really cares about the quality of the art that they put out. And I feel he's influenced that, right? How does he get into power in your opinion?
Uh, I guess I'm hearing an echo in here. I don't know why it's still having that. Let me see if I can fix that at all.
Yeah, you're good, bro.
I think part of the reason has to do with him having good timing at a very bad time in mainstream hip hop, mainstream rap,
Mm,
I should say. I think he had good timing. I think that he did something that other folks weren't willing to do, which is talk about popular people in a way that wasn't so flattering. He came in with an energy that said, "I don't necessarily want your interviews. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if this even involves real life situations like folks in Chirac. I don't care if people are passing away. I'm gonna make nicknames for this, and I'm gonna take advantage of a very dark presence that is on the internet that thrives off of conversations like that." So I think that his work ethic, he can absolutely give himself credit for his work ethic because I remember the very early days. I remember watching. Matter of fact, he might have been even following me at that point in time,
yeah.
and I was just trying to figure out who was this guy that kept putting out stories, kept putting out
Mm,
stories, and this is before I even thought about doing any kind of reaction stuff. Um, but I think what happened was that through his work ethic, he rose through the ranks, and it was at a time where journalists and hip hop media were still leaning on a different definition of professionalism, right? Which
mm,
was, in their opinion, not giving their opinion. And so they were playing, kind of softballing some of these questions to answer artists. They were still trying to maintain relationships, and they weren't truly saying how they felt about the music, which is why I don't even give him all the credit for where I understand your point, but I don't even give him all the credit for it. I just think it was already heading that way. He was just the person that said, well, if nobody else is going to embrace it, I'm going to amplify it and use my platform to continue to, amplify the nonsense. Um, I think that he's done a remarkable job in creating multi networks. I think that over the years he has abused that, and that's where we're starting to get to. And that, I don't mind being in this space as an artist and as a media personality. I don't mind somebody having an opposition of opinion with me.
yeah.
My thing is the moment that you start to abuse that. Um, Somebody gotta call it out. Somebody gotta tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
And your reaction video, brother, was epic. If you guys have not seen it, go to Curtis King's YouTube. You can find it here. Absolutely beautiful. And you said what needed to be said. Um,
Yeah.
if that was my child and you were a 33-year-old person talking to my child like that,
Boy,
like,
I seen you fight. No, I did.
what are we talking about? I thought it was about protecting kids. Like, I don't
How do
want
we
to
get
talk to
here?
someone. I don't want to talk to someone, even parents who have kids in high school know how awkward it is to talk to them about
Mm,
intimacy.
yes.
My parents could not talk to me about my girlfriends.
Same.
If I was partying, if I was drinking, they had no idea. And now you
Mm,
got these people who I'm his age. He's 32, I'm 33. You know,
mhm.
I can't talk to a high schooler. These high schoolers today, bro, it's the world is different. We were
Right.
men at 16 to 18 for real.
Yeah. Had
It
to be.
had to be. It was different. Now these kids
Mhm,
are like prolonged adolescence, and academics
mhm.
embodies that and then uses that to pitch to a lower demographic the money. Oh, I make
Yeah.
more money than you. You can't say shit to me. I birthed you, all you streamers.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're a shitty person. P. Diddy, now nobody's listening to his music. Nobody wants to
Right.
listen to Jay-Z's music right now. It doesn't matter. Energy speaks. And this is why I'm excited to talk to you, because I feel like you have always tried to provide value. I feel like subculture is what is used to actually, I feel like the mainstream uses subculture like the
Mhm.
music producer industry, right? Because why did everybody now talks about sound? Have you noticed that?
I do.
10
The
years
especially
ago,
when you talk about certain frequencies and the effects that it has on our health and all these different things, it's definitely been an influx in that for sure.
even quality, 10 years ago, nobody was talking about fucking mixes, bro. Nobody was
Yeah.
talking about the quality of a record or a mix. You weren't. And
Mhm.
now
Well,
there's a complete demographic of even the YouTube community of audio engineers. The
mhm.
plugin, Help Me Devin, or Help Me
Yeah, having
Devon.
Devon.
Help
I
Me
saw him the other
Devon.
day. Yeah, I saw him with the NAM, yeah.
Right? I mean, and even knowing who audio engineers are, like, bro, like we are, in my opinion, respectfully, we are the cool culture that everybody has tried to infiltrate.
Mhm.
You know how to use a compressor, you know how to use an
Yeah.
equalizer, you know how to make a kick slap, and you don't need a multi-million-dollar studio to tell you that you're dope.
No.
You don't need that.
Isn't it isn't it ironic that you just mentioned, talking about the sort of the academics effect, and I think he definitely has a lot to do with how a lot of these kids, interpret what success means and what it means to be a professional.
Yes.
Um, isn't it ironic that we live in a time now where they say, how much money that I've made, how many followers that I have determines the look of my success versus we're living in a time where literacy rates are at an all-time low.
Yes.
We're living in a
Come
time
on.
where you have kids. I saw somebody make a point like this in it was a video where they talked about why rappers are no longer writing,
Yeah.
right? They're talking about why rappers are no longer writing and they're just coming up with bars off the top of off their head, but they're writing in their head.
Yeah.
And they kind of alluded to a point that perhaps current literacy rates have something to do with that. Some of these are pandemic babies that they have
Mm.
not necessarily had to make the steps we did. Like in English class, that was my favorite class because I was the most engaged
Same.
in storytelling. I was the most
Same.
engaged in learning what is a double entendre, what is all these devices of poetry. And so I concluded from that video many rappers are not actually writing down their lyrics. One,
Yes.
because it's a convenience, of course, but two, because some of them lack basic writing skills.
Yeah.
And I say this as an artist, I'm not downplaying anybody. I just think it's a matter of if that's who you're allowing your kids to learn life lessons from, and they haven't even come to grips with where their deficiencies are at, or they're denying it, or they're saying because I'm rich, it doesn't matter. No wonder we have so much degenerate shit going on. So much, you literally have kids leading kids.
Yes.
And we wonder why, shit was so fucked up. So over the last year, what I've seen after that battle is that I do believe there has been a changing of the guard that was already sort of heading that direction. It just got amplified. Um, I think now what's happening is the reason why you're seeing that pivot into figuring out higher levels of sound is because now all of that other shit that used to get you paid over the last X amount of years is not gonna get you paid moving forward. If you're just a
Mm.
rapper that is here checking in and you don't have any kind of ounce of idea of how to push your pen, how to get yourself to the next level of your
Yes.
craft, if you don't have even the basic comprehension skills to break down lyrics, good fucking luck, because this is
Yes.
what people are gonna ask for now.
Yeah.
We've already heard how low we can go. And this is no shot to Sexy Red, but the point we got to like my booty hole brown, you know what I'm saying? Like this is where we're at.
Yeah.
She's not the reason, but she's a reflection of where we're at and why society gravitated towards her. That's not her fault. She just amplified a talking piece that folks was already kind of heading that direction. The conversations got that low. I just think now we're in a time where it's funny when you see people like academics try to break down lyrics. That's not your wheelhouse. That's
Yeah.
not your specialty. Your specialty is entertainment. And so
Yes.
now people are getting exposed. And I think in the process, we're going to start seeing uh, time reveal all.
I just had something come to me, brother. That was beautiful. Entertainment is curated. Art
Mm,
is not.
hmm Break it down. What do you mean?
Everything in entertainment in today's world is literally pushed by a machine. Meaning,
Hmm.
I love how you talked about, I love how you break down Drake. I love your videos on Drake. If you guys want to watch the best videos on Drake on YouTube from a real fucking artist who understands what it means to be a
So,
real artist, you need to watch Curtis's videos on Drake. Because every time I watch your video on Drake, I'm like, this motherfucker's he gets it. And not only does he get it, he's speaking this during a time it needs to be spoke. I used to have a
mm,
hashtag called Drake Could Never, and I would do all the things that Drake couldn't. I would freestyle live in front of my audience here on King Bow Radio and make hits live. That was what the whole thing was. That's how King Bow Radio was birthed, right? Showing that not only am I a real MC, not only can I write, but I will freestyle live and I will make hits live. No Blackberry, no nothing. And
No, Blackberry's
no,
crazy.
no Blackberry, no nothing. And I love the fact that the culture shifting. The culture is shifting exactly how you're talking about, where people are desiring what's real.
Mm-hmm.
Energy, again, energy speaks, bro. And when someone creates a beautiful piece of art, you don't know why you're attracted to it, but you can't deny it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
the point. It's inarguable.
well, I was going to say another point to add on to that is that music is not the only place that it's happening, right?
Yeah.
When I look at sports, for instance, you know, it is very rarely that you see a new Stephen A. Smith. What you're seeing now are athletes that used to play the game,
Yes.
athletes that used to that played at the highest level, that have won championships. Not to downplay the journalism of a Stephen A. Smith, but he doesn't know what it's like to be in Game 7 and the team is
Bingo.
leaning on you after averaging 30 points the whole year, and you don't know the wear and tear that it takes on a LeBron James or whatever the case may be. And I think the people are like really pulling people's cards and saying, yes, you're well informed as a journalist, but I want to hear the X's and O's from the people who actually were out there and know how to read the plays. So I think you saw the shift there. I know there was a shift when Kwame Brown, a former NBA player, was arguing with Stephen A. Smith, and his YouTube live streams talking shit about Stephen A. were getting more views than the ESPN. I saw that and I said, oh, something's happening. I'll give you another one that may feel unrelated, but this has more to do with why you see me pushing direct to consumer so much. E3, the video game conference. You started seeing companies like Nintendo say, wait. Why are we going to someone who only specializes in conferences to go talk to our customers? Why don't we just have a Nintendo Fest of our own? So I think people are like, why am I going to a journalist who's talking adjacent to their knowledge of the game when I can go listen to, you know, it used to be JJ Redick, or I can watch a podcast where they're talking about things that go so much deeper than I think he wants to demand a trade. That's barely scratching the surface about how you can talk about somebody's game. And people want that, man. I know hip hop fans. I made videos last year talking about how labels were deprioritizing hip hop. And I'll tell you, brother, I saw so many comments from older hip hop fans of just pure disappointment of where things have gone.
Wow.
And I said to myself, if somebody can flip this around, it ended up being Kendrick. I said that there's going to be an influx in income that can be generated by independent artists that are strongly connected to the roots of hip hop.
Yeah.
And it's happening. It is happening.
Absolutely. Hey, man. We're going to shift everything. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this interview for years. Right?
Oh, man.
You have no idea. And the fact that, like, the last few weeks you've been going in on Drake and the ghostwriting, you've been going now, then you went in on Akademiks, bro. I had to reach out. I had to.
Yeah.
Because
Glad
the
you did.
shift is here. And it's so exciting. So talking about Drake and talking about ghostwriting and talking about success, right? I feel like he is
Hold on. Before you do that.
FBI, open up!
You got to be careful. You got to be careful because we don't want to get sued for what we're getting ready to say next. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? Wait. But UMG said that they aren't going to support his bullshit anymore. So I think we're good.
Yeah, sure. Okay, as long as we're good. I just want to make sure because, you know, the eyes are watching always.
Nah,
I wasn't on the op list, so I don't know when the new one drops. I don't know when the next one is dropping. I'm sure I'm on that one.
No, Curtis. Here's the thing. It's better that they ignore us. You're speaking. Hear me out. You're speaking too many facts for him to try to come after you, and you can actually articulate why you don't respect him. and that's
Mhm.
he has to deal with sensationalists like DJ Academics. There's that other guy with
Yeah.
the dreads that was in your video as well. I can't remember his name. These guys are more entertainer sensationalists.
Mhm.
You are articulate, and I try to play both lines. I am an absolute entertainer sensationalist, but when I
Right.
have to do a video going in, I go in and
It's
I
time.
expose everything. It's time. And you're not going to
Yeah.
talk to me about my intellect, my ideas, my thoughts, because I'm going to show you exactly what I believe. They can't come after
Mhm.
people like us because it discredits them immediately because you can
Mhm.
see from the real and the fake. So,
Oh, yeah, they know that we see them. Like, there's one
yes,
thing to view and somebody just looks and you say, "Oh, that's so," no, no, I see you, and
yes,
when you get the when you I knew I was getting uncomfortably close to the truth of the matter of what's happening when I started to see the type of people that I was attracting, because I was like, "Oh, uh-oh." There's a reason why you would wanna ignore any of this stuff going on over here, right? There's a reason why you wouldn't even wanna play anywhere close to that. So, no, my thing is too, I've never really leaned in on the gossip. I don't care
yeah,
about if he has a child that he's not claiming, that's none of my business. If he
yes,
has, you know, unless it directly relates to the music, I do make sure I make exceptions, especially when something is happening that I feel like affects children and
yes.
affects women. Yeah. Because those are the those like my son is my life. I love my boy. You know what I'm saying? Like my
Beautiful.
wife, love her. I got 3 sisters, right? So I have 3 sisters, 1 brother. So I've always been big brother. I've always been, in a lot of ways, even like protector, sometimes even man of the house. My pastor's in my life, but my mom's in pasta divorce. So with my mom's, I'm like man of the house. I've always been used to having to operate a lot older than what my age showed. So when I see this stuff going on, I'm looking around and I'm like, none of y'all gonna call this shit out? This shit is like something that we just gonna sweep under the rug. The problem I have with that, Pac said it one time. He said, "If you don't like my approach, wait till the next motherfucker comes in here, because he's gonna be even more ruthless because of the way you treated me." I think about it's the opposite on the other end. The people that I don't agree with, if you don't say something to them, the next person that's coming in is going to be them times 10.
Mm,
So I think that it's important that we have these moments where we collaborate. I know it's probably viewers of mine that are surprised to see me, you know what I'm saying, on a platform like Rumble, but I'm like, we have to have conversations.
yeah.
We have to have conversations. We have to stop, being aggressive towards people that we feel are weaker than us, and then choosing to ignore folks that we may or may not agree with all the time. I don't give a fuck about agreeing. Can we
Yeah.
get to some solutions in these situations? We all have, at some level, some shared interests, right? Like
Yeah.
protecting the baby, some shared interests in like making sure these educational school systems are taking care of our kids and teaching them how to read. You know, all these things truly, truly matter moving forward for me. And I'm like, this year, man, you just gonna have to figure it out with me. You either gonna love me to death or hate me. No in between anymore.
Nah, righteousness always shines through, bro. And I think that this is your golden year. I think that this is, the real's golden year. And I think that is what's shifting is people are
Mm,
now going to be like, let's say academics, this is his fall with all of this. Drake's fall.
mhm.
Where do these fans go? Do they go just listen to
Back to
Kendrick?
no, they I think there's a first of all, I don't know how many of the percentage of them are bots. Let's start there.
Wait. Are we talking NPCs, non-playable characters, or are we talking
No,
actual bot
I'm talking
farms?
about
Spot.
somebody programming them to
Okay.
come in droves to attack posts. When I exposed, so I was one of the first people to expose the first version of push-ups for being AI generated, in
Mm,
my opinion,
yeah.
right? The vocals. I've been messing around with AI stimming, so I know when you hear digital artifacts in the background, and I listened to it, and I was like, these inflections. Once again, because of our profession, we know
Yeah.
like these inflections don't make any sense. This don't even sound like Drake inflections. It
Yeah.
sounds like somebody, and I'm just speculating. It sounds like somebody wrote it and also used the AI voice cloning in one of these
Mm,
websites and sent it to him as a reference. And it
mm,
sounds like the reference might have leaked. And so when I heard that, I was like, dog, this is AI. Because the version of that, plus the one that they tried to pawn off as a CDQ version,
Yeah.
which was hilarious in 2025, was completely different. I looked at that and I said, oh, so this is forget Drake. This is UMG soft launching AI. This is them seeing
Mm,
how an audience reacts to that. That's the way
fire,
that I'm reading it, right?
fire.
I'm looking at this now and I'm like, okay, n- I made a video about it, 2 million views within the first 12 hours. Guess what
Yeah.
happened the next 12 hours?
Attacked like a.
Nothing but onslaught of bots. And I mean, they,
Mm,
they literally were hashtagging Taylor Swift's name and album. They were hashtagging UMG. They were hashtagging Drake. And they were saying things that I didn't even comment on. Like, for instance, they had jokes about Rick Ross, about Metro Boomin, anybody that was opposing Drake. And I seen that, I said, that is interesting. What if the majority of the people that we find ourselves arguing with are indeed bots? So I think that's the first thing. One, I don't believe that there's that strong of support of people who are on that side. Now,
yeah.
I do feel like there are people who are just there because of their absolute fandom of the guy, and they do believe these things. But I think there's such a minority in the grand scheme of things, and they're just loud. They're the loudest. So I
Hmm.
think those people are going to stick to that side. I think that depending on what Drake decides to do, put out music, go independent, whatever. I think that they're going to either stick with him or go to the genres where they feel welcome because the way that hip hop is returning back to its roots, they don't want any part of that. They don't value the same things that we value. They can't even tell you the other elements of hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
All they know is mainstream rap, and that's the only definition of hip hop that they have, and it's a bastardized version of it.
How do you think Drake, if there's any, because after the Ghostwriters, bro, and all of that becoming real, how do you? I don't believe he ever gets back in any way, shape, or form. I don't think there's a
Mhm,
rebrand. Not when you have real artists being pushed to the forefront, and that's part of the reason I wanted to have you here because when you have real conversations and you keep bringing it to people's attention and then you remind people of real artistry, one thing I would love to do with you at the end, if you'd like, is to share some of your music, right?
mhm.
And
I
to
appreciate
to
it.
to
Oh,
to to play song for song, right? To show people, hey, why are we so critical of what this person does over here? It's because we
mhm,
feel like they can't actually do what we can do. And that is not me being critical. That's not me. If you watch sports to figure out who the best is, how
mhm.
can you be the best if you have a ghostwriter or if you have a team or if you're
Yeah.
curating listens and bot farms like the Spotify bot, like the Spotify farms, where now they're paying these literal places to stream songs all day
Mhm.
long to run up numbers. Like if it's all not real, I rather not participate. And that's why I love that you do curtisking.com. You're doing the streaming because I look at it now and I'm like, I don't want to participate with Spotify. I don't want to
Yeah,
participate with any of this. So
right.
how does a person for you in your way in your world move forward independently, moving forward and become someone of influence in the music community?
I I got 2 answers for that. I think one of them is if you wanna become independent, you have to find all the ways that you're currently dependent.
Mm, like that.
I think there's a lot of artists that say, I'm independent." And I heard a statement by, one of my favorite producers, an arsonist from, he did a lot of records with, Dipset and Cameron and them, but he said, "How can you call yourself independent when UMG has stake in Spotify?"
Yes.
And I didn't get it at the time. I was like, "What do you mean? Like, I'm independent, I'm paying for all of this stuff." Like, I had even my other independent artists that I work with, like, "Man, that's such a slap in the face because I finance it." It's like, "No, no, no. If you don't think emotionally in a situation, the truth of the matter is, how can you call yourself independent when you're dependent upon the apps and the convenience of a streaming service?"
Mm,
It's great for the customers and consumers. It pays us shitty, even though we have the ability to generate a crazy amount of traffic. The game has shifted so much in the last year that now after you generate this traffic, they can still tell you, "We call cap on that.
Mm.
We think that 95% of these streams are fake." If you find 95% of streams to be fake on my song, why don't you go talk to the playlist that you're identifying that it was on and see if
Mm.
those are bots? How about this? I've always said about Spotify, maybe that's the reason they call them listeners and not fans.
I like that.
Maybe bots can be listeners. I think the majority, this is me speculating after doing all these stories that I've done on Spotify. I think the majority of that population there is is bot activity that inspires real activity. So if you see people moving in droves somewhere, that incentivizes the power structures that be. Which, by the way, Spotify just had their first profitable year this year after 15 plus years of doing business. And it had to do with not music, but them pivoting into podcasting. Now, let me break this down real quick just so we can get to the other point about the independence and the artists. With Spotify not pivoting or not profiting, that's partly because of the oligarchy, the three major labels, the Warner Music, the Sony Music, and Universal Music. They basically account for 70 cents of every dollar that Spotify makes.
Mm.
70 cents of every dollar is going to them because they're licensing the music to Spotify. So Spotify has deprioritized for a long time the music and in place has tried to figure out bundle deals and things that they can do to make income outside of that.
Wow.
So when you think about that structure as it is, you can't really get in there and say like, well, I'm independent. No, you don't have your own fucking app to be called independent. How are you going to play your music without it? So it's like you got to identify where you're dependent. That's what I did. I said, okay, I'm dependent upon them to make money, first of all,
Yeah.
which is crazy at 0.003.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not playing that game. I'm not about to generate a bunch of different songs, a bunch of different traffic to you,
Yeah.
while your advertisers get paid significantly more from the traffic that I generate. I'm also not buying into your pie system where you could listen to me. You could literally listen to me for 500 plays, just throwing a number out there, and say that's $10. I may only get $1 to $2 of that. The rest of that is going
Crazy.
to the top streamers like Taylor Swift and you know what I'm saying, Drake and all these different people. They get
Wow.
paid more off of my music than I do there. I'm
Crazy.
dependent. So I say all that to say for independent artists, start to see the things that you need to run a successful business. You need access to data. They don't give you emails on any streaming platforms. You need access to your fans through emails, through SMS text messaging. Like, we got to start there. If you want to build a business, if you're a mom and pop business, imagine a mom and pop business that's always relying upon somebody else to get paid.
Mm.
Right? They may pay a fee for the credit card service that somebody pays or an ATM in there, but that's not what their whole business depends upon. So I said, okay, let's go direct to consumer. Let's do the same thing that Amazon is doing right now when they're buying up all these AMC theaters. And now they're going to just take their Amazon movie originals and put them right into these movie theaters. If
Genius.
they're doing it, what do you
Yeah,
think we should be
genius.
doing, right?
For
So
sure.
if you want to be independent first, identify the ways that you're dependent and really start building your website out to be more than just a landing page. That should be a place where people can get any and everything and pay you directly. Kanye West just did it successfully.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been pushing in terms of my other channel, DIY Music Network, is DIY Music Academy, in which I want to teach independent artists. You don't have to get 1 million people to make a lot of money with music. You can still make money off of music. First of all, I had a project called Storm Symphony. I did it with this company named Even. And I think in 3 weeks, we did $4,000 worth of sales off of 135 people.
Wow. Beautiful.
I'm not the largest name out here. I'm not the largest artist out here, but what I do have is a strong connection to human beings who love the art of what we do. They respect the art. They watch me create it in live streams. They see it from the very beginning to the end.
Yep.
So I'm really, really trying to find all the ways that I can be more independent, and direct to consumer has absolutely been able to do that for me.
Beautiful,
So I
man.
know it's a long answer.
And that's because you do it for the love.
Yeah, I have to love this. There's no way. Like, if you didn't love this, and I think that's the beautiful thing about the era we're getting into. There's a lot of people who don't love this, bro.
Yeah.
They're making a lot of money off of it.
Bingo. That's what
But
hurts.
now
Yeah.
you gotta work. Ugh, I gotta work. I have to actually make quality music. I gotta work with a real producer. I gotta work with a real engineer. I can't just loop these things up and then fake it. I have to actually like writing. So yeah, I think we're moving into a time where, you know, of course your era, because you say you're 33, right?
Yep.
34?
33.
33. I just turned 40.
Yep.
And I have probably more creative energy than I've ever had
Bingo.
and the knowledge that I've ever had. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, dog, we're gonna redefine what you could do in your 40s as a rapper.
Yeah.
I'm tired of buying into, you gotta sound like you're from 1983
Yep.
at 40. Like, no, you stay up to game with everything. You learn from the younger artists, you learn what they're doing better than you, and you get in that gym, just like LeBron is at 40 right now.
Yep.
He knows he has a game to play.
Enes and Head Ice, both battle rappers right now, are actually going on runs because they just they're outworking people, and
Man.
they're killing it right now to show proof
That
of
DJ
that.
Cosmic Kev Enes freestyle over the Biggie Dead Wrong.
I didn't see it. Oh, I did see
Stop.
that. I did see that. Yeah, that was fire.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was
So
crazy.
I'm like, we're activated. I know I mentioned him earlier off camera, but like Daylight, I had probably talked to him and Justin Hunt probably the most during the battle. And one thing Daylight told me, and he predicted it. He said, get your notebook out, Curtis, and dust it off. He was like, it's that time. He said, it's about to be a massive shift. And
Mhm.
so now when I call him, I'm like, it's happening, isn't it? He's like, I told you. I told you it's happening. And we're living in it now. So I believe that individuals like yourself, like myself, the ones who truly love this and put the hours in are going to be respected on a level. And also, we're going to have access through our social medias, through our content creation. That was my second point I was going to make. And
Yep.
this will be short, but
No, you're good.
content creation.
Yes.
Artists, we have to make content. We have to. And the thing about it is, forget have to, we get to.
Yeah.
I came from the blog era where we had to like literally everything, under kissing somebody's ass to get a little bitty post on their blog. And maybe it gets drowned out in the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
We get to go talk to our audience every day, live stream every day to the people who inevitably are going to pay for us to be able to make a living at this.
Yeah.
And we're complaining about that?
For sure.
I don't want to make content and it's corny. Well, then make it not corny. You're one of the most creative human beings on earth if you make music. Just make something that you would want to consume.
Yes.
And so that's why I did things like I made an ebook called 100 viral videos for promoting your music as an independent artist. Because I'm like, I've done it. I'm literally a DIYer, do it yourselfer.
Yep.
Here's how you do it. Here's the blueprint. It's on curtisking.com. But like, we have to make content because now we are our best media representation. It won't get misconstrued. We don't have to wait on, man, I didn't have podcasts with large followings that promise me like, hey, we'll meet up this time. And then they cancel on me. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, cool. I wanted to talk to my audience directly anyways.
Bingo.
So yeah, we
You know
have
what
to
I
get
love
into
about
content.
you is you have survived every era, and that's how you know what a real artist is. If you think about it, like I want to get like let's get real. Daylight,
Let's get it.
good friend of mine, right? We grew up during the text battling message boards era. I
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
I remember when there was a whole community online that did text battling and audio battling, and
Mhm.
rapforums.com had the number one audio battling tournament every year where they would give out, I think it was $10,000 to the winner of this massive audio battling tournament,
Right.
where these people not only would have to study their opponent, figure out about them, but like diss them. And you would have, and the community would vote on
Mhm.
flow, metaphors, multis, similes, all of
Mhm.
that. Bro, I want to bring back an audio battling league.
Why not? Why not? I mean, this is the time period to do it because these kids, I'm telling you, the thing about these new kids, and I don't want to cut your point off, the thing about
No.
these younger kids that I'm noticing, they want help, they just don't want to have to ask for it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
because they're used to services being like they're used to being able to buy Netflix and have access to everything. That's just not the way that some of us were brought up. I mean, you're right. I went through the MySpace era. I
Mm-hmm.
was active on MySpace. I was
Yes.
active on, all these different transitions on Tumblr and all these different things. And so none of this shit is new to me.
Yeah.
But I just want to add that to your point in that, yeah, dog, we this is the time to do it because these kids are like, I just saw what Kendrick did
Yeah.
and I want to be a part of what the evolution of that is. He showed you, he didn't just diss Drake. He showed you multiple styles of how to break down an opponent using the strongest mechanics that you can on a mainstream level of lyricism, of hip hop, of culture.
Mm.
What is the benefit of having cultural cachet? If somebody hears culture and says, "Oh, that's too much work," you're not going to last this era. It's not going to be fun for you.
Mm. This idea is coming to me now. This is how it works because we're
Yeah.
brainstorming, right? So when the message boards were around, I was on rapworldsforums.com. I was actually a moderator for theunderground.com, which at one point in time had 30,000 active members.
Man.
I was an admin. I worked my way up to become friends with the person running the site, and she stepped away from it and said, "You're the most active person on here. You run it." Right. And
Right, right.
and I'm thinking about this, and maybe we can do it on YouTube. Maybe. What
There's an
if
audience for it. They're there.
what if we give people, the Drake and Kendrick beef was what, 2 weeks? Pretty much? It was a couple
Nah, that
weeks?
was it you gotta think, Kendrick didn't get back to him until, like, 14 plus days after, so it was, like, over the span of about 2 or 3 months.
Well, okay, yes, but the drops, the final
Oh,
drops were
the
like 2 weeks.
Kendrick drops, yeah, that was, like, 2 weeks, yeah,
Yeah,
he
2
wrapped
weeks.
that up in 2 weeks.
Okay, so I remember that you would have at least a week to post. You would get your
Mhm.
battle, you would go into the little battle. Hey, I want a battle. Who wants to battle me? Right. And then you would have a week to write against your opponent. What if we had a league for not only rappers and producers? So, like, that's us, me and you, right? We
Mhm.
have a rapper producer league where we make the beats and we destroy the opponent, right?
Right.
Whatever it is, right? Then you can also, and you give people 2 weeks to respond. And during that time, you can have as many disses or rebuttals in that as you can
Mhm.
cook up. So we
Mm.
actually see who the champ, and then we can have belts and everything. Like I'm just,
Yeah,
this is an idea, and I'm putting it out there, right? If anybody
yeah.
actually wants to make this happen, I've always wanted to do that because my whole thing
Mm.
is I'm battling the industry. I'm battling
Mhm.
the industry with my music, whether that's the quality, whether that's the message, whether
Mhm.
that's the skill. My goal is always to shit on what I believe is the illusion. And I'm so grateful
Mm.
that you're here and I could brainstorm that with you. That was
Well, I look, I'll tell you this, you have a very unique background that sets you up to be able to teach, things that are not just rap battle lessons, but that are, hand-to-hand combat lessons, that are life lessons of how to go through these things, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know, uh, I used to have a gentleman that, he's the one that made me believe in the art of hypnosis. I didn't believe.
mm,
I was like, it was but he used to do hypnosis for UFC fighters.
yeah,
They would come to him, he would have them walk through the process, and he would, like, kinda rewire the
yep,
brain, and he would utilize, neurolinguistic programming.
exactly.
He did that with me,
Yes.
and one thing he told me straight up, he told me a story of a fighter who, fictional story. The fighter's in a ring, and he gets hit in the eye, and he's just trying to defend. He's trying to get the vision back, and he said his coach in the corner said, "Stop acting like you have a handicap. Instead, now you have stronger vision in one eye. Instead of utilizing all your energy to try to, like, fix this eye that is damaged right now,
Yes.
use the strengths and use the benefits of this eye. Now you have, a super focused eye." So I look at that and I say, that's a lesson that if somebody's doing a rebuttal, I would have them also, if they win the battle, have them explain why that worked or why they think it worked.
That would be so
And then you
fire.
tell them. You know what I'm saying? And then you tell them, "That's a good point, but this is also something I realized in my experience in fighting in the ring." And this is something that I just think that a lot of these kids, man, what they're really missing sometimes is a father figure, sometimes is a male figure that, can because if they're looking at the academics as somebody to look up to, when you see the behavior that's here, my thing is, I'm not gonna act like what he did in that stream is something that maybe 17, 18, 19-year-olds, they do immature things every day. I'm not
Oh yeah.
excusing it at
Oh
all,
yeah, for sure.
but you're 33.
Bingo.
You're 33. You're more than double that child's age.
Yeah.
If that's the adult that somebody looks at, no matter if they excuse it or not, that's not a good example of how you conduct yourself as a man, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think they need it. They need it, but they don't want to ask for it because it's a very vulnerable question to ask. So I think that's where voices like ours now are going to become more needed than ever before. And it doesn't really matter how we show up. If we show up in a rap battle league, cool. If we show up in YouTube content, cool. Rumble, cool. We just got to show up.
Yeah.
We got to show up.
Curtis, this is awesome. You know, I think I want to talk to you after this maybe about some things, because I feel like there's some moves that could definitely be made and facilitated. And I do believe you're right. I believe the younger generation actually needs people to look up to. And I think the only people to look up to in music are the ones who actually are doing it themselves. Meaning,
Yes.
if you're a music producer and you're a rapper, like if you're a rapper, that's one thing. Totally cool. If you rap and you rap good, totally cool. But if you've never rapped over your own beat, that is also dope. There's different levels.
Yeah.
And I think that we can maybe create something to respect those levels. And I think it can be done, and I think it can be integrated in today's society, and I think it can be interactive. And I think it can give some people something to look forward to outside of their drops from their favorite artists. I think this could be the number one thing people come to, because the live
Yeah.
stream and this is everything. So
Mhm.
and the verses prove that people like battles.
Mhm.
The UFC has
Yeah.
proved people like the back and forth. Okay.
They like conflict. They
Bingo.
like conflict. And you
Absolutely.
can't you know this from being in the gym. You don't build muscle unless you got resistance.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell the story about the first time I came to Jackson Wink, which is where I'm at right now. It's one of the number one gyms in the country. All the champions have been here. I've been here for 2 weeks, and I'm a smiling, laughing, carefree guy. When I spar, I try not to get too serious, because like if I flip the switch, I flip the switch. Right. And so
Right.
what are we doing here? Are we fighting, or are we just trying to get in work? Okay, I need to know. And it was about my second week, and gentleman that I was working with for 2 weeks, I was trying to make conversation with him before. He wasn't making any conversation with me. I was like, oh, he's kind of serious today. Ends up winding up kicking me straight in the face, because I thought he was going to what's called pull. Pulling
Mhm.
is where like you show a kick, but you don't throw it, right? And I
Okay.
like was showing all my shit, like I was being a shower, show and tell. And
Right.
this motherfucker winds up, kicks me straight in the nose, and ends me just having me leaking. And I look over to the left, and all of the coaches are lined up next to one another. Coach Greg Jackson, legendary coach. Coach Mike Winklejohn, legendary coach. And the general manager, Misha, he's standing there, and they're all just,
Mm.
and they're just
No react. What
waiting.
you gonna do? What you gonna do?
They're waiting to see how I respond. And let's just say they were very, very happy with how I
There it
responded.
goes. You
And
responded.
and there's a lesson
Like,
in
wait.
that. There's a lesson in that, because
There is.
how much was everybody just sitting back waiting for Kendrick when Drake was sitting here doing the pretty boy, like
Taunting.
taunting.
People forget about the taunting. Before the suing, there was taunting.
Yeah. Yes. And so I think that the league can be created around it. And yeah, I think we'll have a good
Let's do it,
conversation
man.
about that. Hey, so I've slated this for about like an hour and a half. This has been a great 54 minutes. I wanted to give you and myself the opportunity to maybe share some music.
Okay.
I'll give you the floor first if you want to play something of yours. It can be
Sure.
original, it can be produced by somebody else, whatever you want, man. I'd love to hear some of your music and the backstory behind the song. And
Sure.
it's one thing to
Let me
just
see.
talk it, it's another thing to,
Yeah,
share
that's
what you
one thing
got.
that I made sure to stress moving forward is that you know, especially the kids, they don't want to hear you talk about what you did
Bingo.
back in the day. They want to see it right here, right now. If you're
Facts.
not walking the talk, they'll look at you. You know, they're not looking at you like a coach. A
Yeah.
lot of them don't want that kind of a coach. They want somebody like a Phil Handy in basketball, where he's going to get out there, no matter how old he is, and he's going to run these plays with you and show you the technique.
Yes.
I'm looking at this like I need to be at the top of my game, and I love that pressure.
Yep.
So, let me see. I'm gonna choose this one right here called "Look at Me." So I did a project with a really well-known producer named Iman Omari,
Okay.
and the project is called Beige. It's an EP. It's called Beige EP,
Love it.
and yeah, I think this song kind of wraps up a lot of this stuff. Here it goes.
Let's go.
Or actually, no. You know what you would appreciate?
I'll appreciate whatever you play. I want to give you.
No, you know what?
I want to give you. I want to give you at least 3 to 5. I want to give you at least 3 to
Okay.
5. So you can play
All
one
right.
now, and I want to give you 3 to 5, bro.
Okay. Matter of fact, I might just do it if you don't mind. I might just do 2 only because I still got to shoot content before
Yeah,
my
you're
my
good.
time comes up
Yeah,
in
you're good.
terms of my channel.
Yep.
But let's do these 2. I got one where a rapper dissed me, and
Mm,
I'm not the type of rapper that goes around looking for these situations, and I'm actually the type of rapper that unless we're equally yoked, you're not gonna get a response
of
from me. If
course.
I don't respect your skill set,
Of course.
like, but this one I saw and I said, what a great way to open up this project. So this song is called Way Out, and it just walks you right through that conversation of
Okay.
how I saw it. And I take a very different approach. So peep it
Yeah.
out. CurtisKing.com.
What seems to be causing your beige rage today?
Beige rage.
Huh. I heard a rapper made a diss song about me when I was asleep, but he ain't even had the decency to say we got beef. The homie hit my line like, just peep. Before I could reply, you sent a YouTube link. I listened to that whole ass song and how sweet. This nigga wrote an angry poem on an ugly ass beat. I swore the last time that we talked it was all peace, but success got a way of exposing what's underneath. I hit this nigga on his Facebook and put him on the spot. Like, do we really got an issue or do you need the clout? He said he heard a song that I made, and without a doubt he could have swore that I mentioned his name and called him out, bruh. But I can see through the drama, let's be honest. I know you lost your drive and need me for some hydraulics. I know you want your limelight to be a little brighter. You told me keep it hip-hop and I told you keep your trauma. See, some days I wanna smack the dust out of hater. Some days I wanna touch nothing but this paper. Some days I wanna show a hater what I'm made of. Then I hear my mama voice say, love thy neighbor. Why they trying to get a rise about me like a dumbbell? Is it cause they always see me smiling in my thumbnail? I make music that's therapeutic to my soul. Cause when I'm pissed, it can really get psycho.
All of this aggression, way out. All of your projections, way out. Everything you say is way out. Always see you flexing for clouds. Hopefully you find your way out. Cause if you stop, then there's no way out.
Beige rage, a condition that's slightly embarrassing. I heard it affects 1 in 3 light-skinned Americans. It comes from having a deficiency of melanin. The side effects is people assuming that you not with the shits. Now I got nothing to prove and I'm not innocent. I'm still a man in my house and I get ignorant. And I don't see that as a bar of my intelligence. I see it as a warning if you get me out my element. I woke up early, meditated, drink a cup of tea, and listen closely to the words God instructed me. I think you miserable people cherish my company. The flies love the light, but I don't want you sitting under me. See, that's the reason why you gotta let your soul glow. The same reason I don't go to local shows solo. I heard a picture might be worth 1,000 words, and that's why people value me less with every photo. That's why you always see me working in my dojo. These cats love yapping online just for the promo. Shit getting dark, man, I'm trying to hit the ISO. Beige rage coming, but I'm trying to break the cycle.
All of this aggression, way out. All of your projections, way out. Everything you say is way out. Always see you flexing for clouds. Hopefully you find your way out. Cause if we stop, then there's no way out.
That was fire.
Yeah, so that's
That was
way out.
fire.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So the dude, it's funny because the dude who dissed me,
He heard a lyric in a song. I've known the kid for a long time. I say kid, he's a grown man, but I say kid because when I met him, he was really, younger artist. And I'm like, I was always supportive, always show love. And he was always such a kind kid.
Mm-hmm.
And something switched where he heard a lyric in one of my projects and he said, that lyric is about me. I haven't thought about the kid in years. And I said, you thought that was about you of all people? You think that's about you? So bad that he jumped out and made a diss song and didn't even have the decency to hit me up and say I made a diss song. Somebody had to tell me.
Wow.
I said, what kind of passive aggressive shit is this? And I said, somebody gave me the game and said, oh, he's using you for some promo. And I said, what he doesn't understand is that I'm an artist that knows how to make content. So what did I do? I made a video. I got a wig from Amazon.
Yeah.
And I did a video talking like Keith Lee, where I basically gave him a review on his diss song. And I said, funny thing is, you thought you were going to use me for free promo, and I'm using you for free promo now for crashing out the way you did. So it's like, you can't, this is the error of, if you're an artist, be an artist in everything that you do, from your business to your content to your music.
I love the
And those are the
storytelling.
folks that are going to be unfuckwittable.
Bro,
I think.
I love the storytelling on that. That's how I can tell that you and I come from the same era. You respect the craft. Like, you took time to actually tell the story of why you were responding, why you were even, you know what I mean? Like, you broke everything down, and I love it. I got one for you, just one.
Give me one, yeah.
This is something I produced probably 7 or 8 years ago now. This is called Until Then. This is all me. So,
Okay, let's go.
for all those people, wondering, does he do this? All right.
Come on.
Yeah. Doctors hurting, sons are dying, families losing, mothers crying, so much pain, evil rising, don't wanna feel so suicidal. I just want all to be alive when there's no more wising, compromising until then. I don't know, but it's time to get high, 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 yeah. I don't know, but it's time to get high, 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 yeah. This is when you don't need no hype. This is when all those who doubted start to believe you might. Was told make it better when you go and I leave it right. Sometimes I wish that I could cry, ain't got no tears to fight. This is like a fight, yeah, I feel it's time I open up. Sometimes I feel I am the chosen one. Well, many think I'm going nuts. That's why it's fuck it, I'm coming anyway. Try to find any way to reach a reason, wondering how can you say you've ever lived if you ain't bleed for nothing? Wise woman told me, say less, that don't need discussion. So many talk behind my back, but I ain't even frontin'. You gotta see what others can if you believe in something. Like this is when it feels right. Told myself I live my dream, now this is real life. Feel like Superman, got a bitch and still might. Yeah. I don't know, but it's time to get high, 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 yeah. I don't know, but it's time to get high, 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 yeah. It's Kenny. I come up with what's new to do. Some ask me for advice and I ask who are you? Yeah, that's all you need to know. They ask me who are you, I'm all you need to know. Learn if you got a reason, let the reason show. Also learn not to think, just let the reason go. Used to wish for things not funny, I don't believe in luck. And if you do, that means you've yet to be enough. I don't know, it's time to get high. But it's time to get high. But it's time to get high. But it's time to get high. Yeah. I don't know. 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 But it's time to get high. 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 Yeah. I don't know. 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 But it's time to get high. 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 Yeah. I don't know. 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 But it's time to get high. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, let's go.
Doctors hurting, sons are dying, families losing, mothers crying, so much pain, evil rising, don't wanna feel so suicidal. I just want all to be alive when there's no more wising, compromising
Until then.
Come on. Let's
Appreciate
go.
you.
Let's go.
Appreciate you, bro.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving the attention. One thing I always appreciate is someone who appreciates the art of songwriting and really structuring something that people will have replay value to.
Yeah.
And I love the chorus on that one. I love the message on that one. And I think it's something that that's crazy. 6 or 7, 8 years that aged very well.
Yeah.
So salute to you, man.
My goal is always to
Salute.
make timeless music, baby. That's what are we doing it for?
Oh, that's what it should be. That's what it should be. I'm gonna let you choose this next one. Just by the title. I got one called The Chili and one called Look at Me.
Mother, that's tough, bro, because I'm in New Mexico, one. So when you say the chili, that's one thing. But when you say look at me, my ego goes, look at me, right? Look at me.
I'm confident in either one of them. I'm gonna let you pick.
Look at me is what's going to close out the show. We're here live with Curtis King. This is his song called Look at Me to close out the show. We appreciate you being here, brother.
Appreciate you.
Juwan, it's time to let go of the things they said and did to you. Not only do I want you to forgive these people, but I want you to thank them for helping you become who you are right now. I mean, look at you now.
I'm trying to find love for my enemies, but I am not feeling their energy. I don't want nothing but inner peace, but that's when they come with the trickery. I don't know why they not feeling me. I don't know why they be killing me. How do I get at these beefs? A lot of these niggas be finicky. It's something I noticed this morning when holding my phone and talking to Willie B. There's too many narcissists around me, always trying to belittle me. I had to sit down and put that in my notes, like how you didn't think of this shit. What if instead of humility, niggas is looking at you like a bitch? What if they don't want to build? What if they looking at you like a lick? You don't know how I'm built. I should beat your ass on the strength, nigga. I gotta admit, it might have been me. I given the wrong pitch out of my own lips, and that's why you don't code switch. I'm tired of living my life like a book I never chose to write. I'm looking at my demons, looking at me, looking to toe the line. I might just still be stuck inside my head if I took your advice. Instead, I'm shining bright right in your face, bitch. Good night. Look at me, look at me, look at me now, ooh. Look at me, look at me, look at me now, ooh. Look at you, look at you. You got an attitude. I'm looking right past you. I'm in my bag, fool. Look at me, look at me, look at me now, ooh. Look at me, look at me, look at me now, ooh. Look at you, look at you. You got an attitude. I'm looking right past you. I'm in my bag, fool.
Featuring Amon Amari.
I bet that you thought I would stay away, but I'm a force mate each and every day. You want your bad vibes keeping me down, but there's no way now. I know that you thought I would disappear. I'm talking way up high in the atmosphere, but now I'm back here wearing the crown. What you gonna say now? Stop all the hating, more celebrations, yeah. I see you back there creeping around like it's okay now. Stop all the hating, more celebrations. I think it's best you get on your game, cause I don't play now.
Look at me, look at me, look at me now, ooh. Look at me, look at me, look at me now, ooh. Look at you, look at you. You got an attitude. I'm looking right past you. I'm in my bag, fool. Look at me, look at me, look at me now, ooh. Look at me, look at me, look at me now, ooh. Look at you, look at you. You got an attitude. I'm looking right past you. I'm in my bag, fool.
Yeah, so that's off the Beige EP featuring Amon Amari. Man, that's all we here for, man. We making music that's gonna live longer than what we gonna be around. So
Curtis King.
I salute you for being on that same mission. There's so many listeners, there's so many artists who are looking for us to set the example, and I appreciate you for setting such a great example of what it looks like when you dedicate yourself to your craft.
Hey, man, we appreciate you more than you know. We will definitely be talking here. Kurt Dog Named Sam says, Curtis, if you see this, you've been top 3 content creators. I credit to my progression. Wow.
Man, salute.
That's awesome.
Dog named Sam, I salute you. Thank you
Hey,
for that.
Appreciate you. This has been Curtis King live on King Bow Radio. We appreciate you guys being here. We'll see you soon. In a world where gangster rappers take dick in their ass and sue one another, enters King Bow. Fuck your favorite rapper cause he probably fucks kids. Fans are stupid assholes, why they into dumb shit? Want a rich ass nigga but remain a bum bitch. She's never made love, all she knows is rough dick. Then we wonder why so many fucking hoes are they. Cause the way they give it up makes them a throwaway. So many dead souls, we wonder why the ghost rates are through the roof. So many moving through so many walls like it's Scooby-Doo. But I ain't judging, no, you be you. Just know in the end we always see who is who. Winners win and losers lose. But I ain't judging, no, you be you. Fuck your favorite rapper cause he probably fucks kids. Fans are stupid assholes, why they into dumb shit?